Flurry rushing is a super useful mechanic in Breath of the Wild, but there are multiple ways to activate a rush anywhere. These vary in difficulty and use quite a bit. Oh, and also I'm not going into targetless rushes for this one. Let's start with Thunderclap Brushes. Start off by side hopping or backflipping into bullet time. When you press ZR to enter bullet time, perform a Y input at the same time or slightly after. This puts you into a glitch rush state. You can tell you're in it when Link skews backwards like this. When you cancel bullet time with B or R, Link will fall to the ground and the Flurry Rush prompt will pop up for a second. Keep in mind you have to hold ZL for the prompt to trigger. Now this is cool, but the prompt doesn't really do anything. For the rush to play out, you need to be targeting something when you hit the ground. Bokoblin, Lionel, Sidon, it doesn't matter. So to sum it up, side hop or backflip, press Y while entering bullet time, cancel bullet time, target something, and spam Y when you land. This is really cool, but what about rushing forward to the enemy? I mean, in a normal Flurry Rush, you don't just stay 3 meters away attacking nothing. This is where the game's hidden targeting system comes in. Only most attacks are Flurry Rushable. Things like sword attacks, kicks, and jabs you can Flurry Rush, while arrows, ground slams, and boulders you can't. If you ever get very near to a Flurry Rushable attack, the game marks the enemy to dash up to for the next rush. So even if you perform a glitch Flurry Rush, Link will zoom forward to the enemy. This is a TCR, or Thunderclap Brush, and it's the simplest rushing method. Having an enemy hit your shield also counts as close enough to mark an enemy, while parries don't. Unless you parry and then cancel it a frame later, also known as an effectless parry. Remember that you have to be targeting something for the rush to play out, but it doesn't matter what you're targeting. You'll always rush forward to the marked enemy. One last detail is that when you enter a glitch rush state, you'll notice it cancels automatically sometimes. You can stop this from happening by having a short sword in your hand when entering TCR. Then you can shoot arrows before the actual rush. Moving on to the PDR, or Perfect Daruk Rush, start off with a side hop or backflip like the Thunderclap Rush. While midair, you have to have something hit Daruk's protection. Obviously, the easiest method is to drop a bomb and then detonate it, or already have a bomb on the ground and then detonate it. As soon as the bomb hits, press Y and the same glitched Flurry Rush state will happen. It should cancel slow motion on its own, and when you land and hit the ground, the rush will trigger. The same rules apply to PDR, aka side hop or backflip, and you have to target for the rush to play out. The only difference is that there's no way to rush forward. So that's a Daruk Rush, but what about the perfect part of Perfect Daruk Rush? Well, by letting go of ZL within 2 frames of something hitting the bubble, the parry animation will play out and no charges will be taken. By applying this, the Daruk Rush becomes a Perfect Daruk Rush. LDRs, or Landing Daruk Rushes, are extremely similar to PDRs, with one major difference. You need to land within a very small time window after parrying the source of damage with Daruk. Basically, you need to hit the ground within 0.2 seconds or 6 frames after triggering the rush. This doesn't seem to do much at first, until you do it with an enemy's attack. So you can use the Landing Daruk Rush to mark an enemy even though it's a Daruk Rush. Best part is, it doesn't have to be a Flurry Rushable attack. Something like a Lionel Fire Blast works totally fine. However, there's an easier version of LDR. Shoal LDR requires a shoal. Start off with the Daruk Perfect Parry while standing inside the shoal. Then perform the backflip jump attack inputs during the slowdown. ZL, backwards, jump, and Y to attack. This needs way more specific scenarios, but is quite a bit easier to pull off. Here's 2 extremely easy ones. The first is the Dolphin Dive. Simply perfect parry anything. Then the next time you Flurry Rush, Link will dive back and rush forward much more quickly. The second is the Invisible Rush. When you scope, Link goes invisible so you're not looking through him when the camera zooms in. So just scope or camera and then immediately Flurry Rush. And now you're invisible. On to the final glitch rush. Before we talk about ATRs, or Absolute Thunderclap Rushes, you need to know about something else. SDM, or Slow Daruk Marking, is a way to mark a point to rush to, just like Thunderclap Rushes. The difference is that TCRs mark enemies. Slow Daruk Marking is used to mark projectiles to rush to. The way to mark a projectile is to have it hit Daruk's protection while in bullet time. The projectile is then marked, and the next time you Thunderclap Rush, Link will rush towards the projectile. This is called an absolute Thunderclap Brush. Nearly all projectiles work, but Guardian lasers have some interesting properties. Even after they disappear, you still rush to where they exploded. Also, if you let the Guardian fire a new laser, that's the one that will be marked. Now that you know how SDM and ATRs work, it's time to talk about one of the coolest combos in the game. A Firestorm Rush is performed by Daruk marking your own bomb arrow and then immediately Thunderclap rushing. Start out with your preferred method of getting into glitch rush state. Then, aim your bomb arrow close enough to hit you. Where you aim is where you will rush to. Fire your bomb arrow, and then cancel bullet time immediately after. You need the bomb arrow to hit Daruk's protection during the fade out from bullet time to normal speed. The bomb arrow should be marked, and as soon as you hit the ground, Link will rush forward to the bomb arrow. You can combine this with a perfect parry as well. It's super easy to have the explosion hit Daruk's protection too early or too late, so mess around with the timing. Hey, I have a Discord server and a Twitch channel, both in the description.